Hi there, my name's Simon, and if you don't know me, then I run a business managing podcasts for other people who either don't have time to do it or don't know how to do it. And in this video, I'm going to show you the absolute minimum equipment you need to get your podcast up and running. We're talking about bare bones here, and we're going to look at 3 different levels. So level 1, we'll be spending absolutely nothing at all. Level 2, we'll be spending less than $100, where your quality will be improved significantly. And level 3 is where you have more than one person making a recording in the same place. You can do that with fantastic quality by spending less than $300, and I'm going to show you exactly how that works. Then at the end of this video, I'm going to give you my biggest piece of advice to actually get your podcast up and running. Let's jump into it right now. So if you're watching this video here on YouTube, chances are you've got a smartphone already. I've got mine right here. And if you have a smartphone and it's, say, no more than 3 years old, then you'll find the microphone quality on these is fantastic. With the iPhone, you've got the voice memos app. On a Samsung or something like that, you have a voice recorder in there instead. And you can literally just switch that on and then start recording your own voice into the microphone. The microphones are usually at the bottom of these phones, so make sure that you're holding it like this. You can just hit record, speak your voice. The quality of this will be amazing. In fact, let's just demonstrate how it actually sounds. Right now, my audio is coming through this microphone here, which I'm going to talk about in level 2. But now I'm going to switch across to this microphone here in my iPhone. You'll probably tell it's not quite as good as this one here, but it's way better than using something like the microphone on my camera, which I'm switching to right now. You can tell the quality of that's going to be really quite nasty. Back to the iPhone again, sounding pretty good, given the fact that you've already got this in your pocket. So just to get your podcast up and running, you don't need to spend any money at all. But where do you put your podcast, and how much money do you need to spend for that to get it onto Apple and Spotify and places like that? Well, there are a couple of different options there, and I'm just going to run through these super briefly with you. One of them is called Captivate. They're a UK-based company, but they charge about $17 a month to have your podcast hosted with them. They'll then feed that out to Apple and Spotify and all those other places where people go to listen to their podcast. Another option is Buzzsprout. Buzzsprout's very popular indeed. It's only $12, so it's a bit less expensive than Captivate. It's got different bells and whistles, but really either of those 2 options is perfect. But there you're still spending money. You can do this for free, I mentioned. And so Anchor, check out Anchor. You can put your podcast there, not spend any money at all. And now you've got your podcast up and running. You haven't spent a single penny. Okay, that's all great, but what if you really want to up the quality of your podcast recordings? Well, I'd recommend this microphone here. This is the Samsung Q2U microphone. You can get this microphone for less than $100 or £100 if you're in the UK, and the quality of this is fantastic compared to doing something like an iPhone or using the microphone on your laptop. It's a USB microphone, so it just plugs straight into your laptop. There's no software at all to install. The quality of it is fantastic. You can handhold it, or you can put it into a little bracket like this and have it suspended so you can just talk and keep your hands free like this. Now, you can spend 10 times the amount of money that you spend on this microphone here to get something different. The quality will be a little bit better, but you probably won't notice that much of a difference because you get diminishing returns. The more money you spend on something, the less the improvement in the quality that you're actually getting. So in my mind, at least when you're starting out, and actually when you're further on down the road, I've recorded over 700 podcasts using this microphone here, this actual microphone here. It just makes sense to use something like this to get your podcast up and running, and then off you go. Now, level 3 is for when you have 2 or more people on a recording and you're all in the same place together. Instead of you sharing a microphone like this, what you can do is to get the Rode Wireless Go 2. These are 2 little microphones which are fantastic quality, and you can just clip them straight onto a stick like this. This is also from Rode, and you can put this foam cover over the top, and now 2 people can have a microphone. Your guest can have a microphone like this, and you can also have one as well. The quality of these is just as good as the Samsung Q2U. One of the best features about this is that the audio gets recorded straight to this, so you don't need to transmit this to anywhere. You don't need any cables or wires or anywhere else. That also means you can be absolutely anywhere. You can be in a field, you could be on a plane, you could be on a train, you could be in a car somewhere, you could be walking down the street, literally doing this. I've done one of these in Kenya before, just outside a hotel, talking to 2 different people that I wanted to have on my podcast recording. It's fantastic. You get a little bit of the sound of the trees in the background, but the main audio that you hear coming through is the person who's speaking because their voice is right next to the microphone here. So here's a quick demo. I'm stood in the middle of a roundabout in the middle of Paris, but because my voice is right next to the microphone, you should be able to hear me just peachy. Now, it looks lovely and warm out here, but actually it's freezing. Can we get back to the office now? Simon, tell me something about the Wireless Go 2 set. Now, the Wireless Go 2 set comes as two of these transmitters here, which record the audio. You buy these sticks here separately, so make sure that you do get those as well. But then when you've got the recordings, you now have two different recordings, one on this device and one on this device here. That means you do need to edit them both together. So you get two different tracks, one of your voice, one of your guest's voice, put them both together in a piece of software, like something like ali2.com. I've used them before. They're a good company. They're only $38 a month, so you're not spending a lot of money there. And then you can edit those two tracks together and export an MP3 recording. Then simply upload that to Captivate, to Buzzsprout, or to the Anchor, the option which is free of charge, and your podcast is there out to the outside world. And it's not just you speaking, it's you speaking with different people each time. That keeps the variety going nice and strong, which keeps your audience retention. Actually, I'm talking about audience retention here. I'm going to do that further down the road. We're going to do that further down the road in a different video. So come back for a different video. I'll talk to you about audience retention. But my last piece of advice to get your podcast up and running is actually really simple, and it's just to start it. That might sound frighteningly simple, but what most people say to me after they've started their podcast channel is, Simon, I didn't actually realise it was going to be as simple as that, and I wish I'd started it earlier. I know exactly what it's like when you're looking at something and you've never done it before and you're thinking, I don't quite know how to do this, therefore I'll put it off because there's something which is easier to do. But just start doing it and you'll find it's much easier than you realise to get it going, and then you'll be glad that you started it when you did. Don't overcomplicate it at all, just start it. It's actually much more simple than you realise. But if you have any questions at all, then just post one down in the comments section of this video here on YouTube. I'll respond to it personally myself, and I'll be super excited to see that you've got a question yourself. But in the meantime, because this is one of my first videos that I'm releasing here on YouTube, I would love it if you could like this video, and even better if you subscribe to it. That would just fill me with a lovely warm fuzzy feeling. But in the meantime, thanks for watching this video. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye for now. Am I done? Can I go and get a croissant, une baguette, maybe a hot chocolate? Oh, it's freezing. Oh.